Hey guys, it's Annie. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how to contour your face. And this will include contouring, blush, and highlighting. And maybe I'll show them put in, hold on, close the door. Maybe I'll put in like a little tips here and there on, well, of course I'm going to do that, but okay, whatever. Just watch the video. Okay, bye. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is blush, because that's what I usually do for my routine, but you can go whatever in whatever order. This is just what works best for my face. So the blush I'm going to be using is Wet n Wild's blush in Pearlescent Pink, and then the brush I will be using for that is the Mary Kay loose powder brush, and it's just a nice dense brush, like medium size. It's not really that big. And this is just great for either contouring or blush. I don't really use it ever for highlighting. Sometimes I will if I'm doing like cheekbone highlighting, but yeah, you'll see what I do later in the video for more highlighting. So the first thing we're going to do is blush, like I said, and I'm just taking that brush and I'm tapping it in the blush a few times and just getting about that much on the brush. Tapping off the excess. I'm going to smile and then put this on the sides of my cheeks. And personally, I like a lot of blush, but it's just kind of personal preference. Yeah, I'm going to be leaving in like 15. Sorry, we're going to my neighbor's house and we're playing flashlight tag later. So, yeah, and they've already left, so, yeah. Try to get it as even as you can. I blended it kind of up into, like, lower temple region, just to give more of a natural flush. So, yeah, that's what I do for blush, and next is bronzer. Okay, so from day to day, I mix up the brushes I use for contouring. Sometimes I don't even contour, but when I have the time or if I'm just in that kind of mood, I will either, I will contour. But yeah, it kind of differs which brush I use. Sometimes I prefer to use a big fluffy brush like this, or I will use the Mary Kay brush that I mentioned before. So today I'm feeling a little bit more defined, I guess, so I'm going to be using a smaller brush. So I'm just going to be using the Mary Kay brush. I will make a separate video or in upcoming tutorials. I probably will at some point use this brush for contouring, so just keep an eye out for that and you'll get to see how that looks. So I'm just taking the product on the tip of the brush and just getting a lot on the brush, but I'm going to be tapping off the excess obviously because I don't want just like a streak of poop on my face. So I'm just tapping off the excess and I'm going right, so it's okay to feel your face. So where I contour is about right here. You can feel it kind of dip in right here. And you can obviously you can do the fishy face, which is this. When you can just kind of like see the line. The rule of thumb is kind of top of the ear or like corner of the ear to the tip or to the corner of your mouth. Obviously you're not going to go that far into the corner of your mouth because then it would not look natural whatsoever. But I usually stop right about when I get to like the edge of my eye, just because I don't really need it to look super Angelina Jolie. So yeah. I don't really do the fishy face much anymore, but if I do, it looks like this. And it looks much more defined and angled. So yeah, this is pretty much how I contour. And then once you kind of have like the line there, you can just kind of buff it out like this, just by making circular motions back towards your ear, not like this, because then it's going to bring more product towards your mouth, and then it's going to make your just like really unnatural. So just buff it back to your ear, because you want most of the product right here by your ear, because that's your hairline and stuff, and then it'll look more natural. And then bring it down to your jawline. I'll kind of turn for you here. And this is kind of erases the appearance of a double chin or verging on having a double chin, and yeah, and obviously we do not want that, so so basically just get a nice shadow there, and it just really gives a look of a more defined jaw. I don't really do this every time I contour, but sometimes I will go up into my temples a little bit, like I did with the blush, but more like forehead temples instead of like right here. I call this my thinking temples because you're like, oh, I'm thinking. But yeah, up by your forehead is pretty much where I like to do it if I ever do. Like I said, you don't contour every day, because then if you don't do it one day, and then it's just gonna look unnatural, and people are like, oh, well, her face really isn't that slim, she's just fat. Oh my gosh, I'm kidding. Like I should edit that out. Nah. No, okay, I shouldn't, because that was funny. But anyways, so I'm just gonna take a little bit more on the absolute tip of the brush, not a lot, and take this right on the side of my nose. I don't really like doing it super harsh as a contour, but I just like giving a little bit of definition. Next, with a blending brush, contouring is probably this thing that takes the longest, because, you know, highlighting is just on like your cheekbones and your nose, and blush is just on your cheeks, but contouring is pretty much everywhere you have like hollows and definition. But yeah, I'm going to be taking this Blendy brush by Sonia Kashuk. It's a dupe for the MAC 224 brush, I believe it is, or the 226. I think it's a 224. But anyways, I'm going to be taking this brush into that powder just a little bit, and I'm just going to go right where my eyebrow is. As you can see, that already made a huge difference in how my nose looks, and just kind of go right on the side of your nose. Just like that, and it just slims it, I guess, a little bit. So obviously I have to do the same to the other side. Blend it out a little bit. And yeah, so now I'm going to be taking that brush again, just kind of going back and forth, up and down, stuff like whatever. Okay, now we move on to highlighting. Okay, so what I like to use for highlighting is, it's from the Naked palette, and it's called Version. It's right here. It's like the first one in the palette. And I take this, I think it's either CVS or the Up and Up brand at Target, but it's the dual-ended foundation brush, and I like to use this brush for my nose, the smaller end, and I like to use the bigger end for my cheekbones. So I'm just going to be taking Version right here. Tap off the excess because I don't want to look really oily. So yeah, I'm going to be using a mirror for this part because I just do not want to mess this up. So basically what highlighting is whenever light hits your face on these certain areas, it gives your face a gorgeous glow. And that's kind of what I would want if I were you. I don't know. I just think it looks really good, and it gives your face more definition, and it brings these areas out. So again, try to get it as even as you can. This gives you a look of chubbier cheeks, which are adorable, and I don't know what makes chubby cheeks and dimples so flippin' adorable. I have no idea, but yeah, so then I'm just going to put this on my brow bone really quickly. If you've already done this with your eyeshadow, then don't skip this step. But I just like to do it when I'm highlighting, if I highlight again like that day. So next I'm taking the same color on the smaller end of the brush, tapping off the excess, and just running this down my nose bridge. And this doesn't make a huge difference, but at a glance, it does give a gorgeous appearance to the face. It makes you look like you're glowing, and yeah, I just really like the appearance that it gives. Yeah, so of course blend it out a little bit. I went a little cray-cray on the nose there, but again, it's YouTube, so you have to give your face a little definition. So now I'm going to be taking this brush again for highlighting and taking version again. I'm going to just put this right in the middle of my forehead just to give some dewiness. Just kind of put it everywhere, I guess. And then take my pinky and put it right on my lip and the center of my lower lip, just to give some radiance and glow, and it also makes your lips look bigger and fuller and pretty and such. I didn't really need a lot of that because I already do have really full lips, thanks Dad. And yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!